we are doing a little bit of review because in order to get to more complicated equations, we have to remember the process to solve the simple equations, okay? So we're going to start very basic with one-step equations. And you guys, I know you can do this in your head. But am I going to let you just do it in your head?
Yes.
No. You have to learn to show your work. You have to. In order to get to the complicated equations, you've got to know how to show your work on the simple ones.
Yeah.
Okay? So, we're going to solve just one-step equations today. Okay? So it should be pretty quick and simple. Remember, an equation uses an equal sign to show two expressions have the same value. So these are all going to have equal signs. And we're going to solve it. We're going to find the value that makes the equation true. Okay? So, looking at the next slide. An equation is like a scale. Right? We talked about this earlier this year. You have to keep that scale balanced. What you do to one side of the scale, you've got to do the other. So if I look at this first scale and I decide to take two squares off of one side, is it going to stay balanced if I only do it off of one side? No, that means I also have to take two squares off of the other side. So that means one triangle is equal to two squares. Okay, on the second one, if I take a circle off of each side, is it still balanced? As long as I take it off of both sides, it's balanced. What else can I remove from both sides? One star. So 1 star is equal to how many circles? 2. Okay, but whatever you do to one side, you've got to do to the other side. Okay, we're going to do that same thing when we're solving equations. When we do to one side, we have to do to the other. Okay, the goal of solving an equation. Do you remember what the goal is? Anybody remember? Go ahead. To find the letter. To isolate. Yeah, to quarantine. Isolate the variable. Okay, or to quarantine the variable. The variable needs to be by itself. And when we've got the variable completely by itself, then we're done. Okay, so that is our goal. Now we're going to use what's called inverse operations. Operations that undo each other. The opposite of adding is subtracting. The opposite of multiplying is dividing, and vice versa. Okay, they undo each other. Okay, so looking at this one. Okay, this is pretty straightforward. You need a packet. Sorry. I gave you the worksheet from yesterday. I forgot to give you the packet. I forgot to give Cece one too. I was going to ask, but you were too busy. Yeah, I was dealing with technology issues. Okay, so Brooklyn. 8, right? So many of us can get the answer in our head, and we can just get 8. I know. And I know some of you hate this part of it. But you have to do this. Draw a line by the equal sign. You have to. Okay, it's a requirement. I know. Deal. Okay? I see plus 10. What's the opposite of plus 10? Minus 10. So I'm going to put minus 10 on both sides. Okay. Now on the side with the variable, I can cross off the 10s. And all I have left is the n. On the other side, I'm going to do 18 minus 10. 8. There's my answer. And that works, right? 10 plus 8 is 18. We're not going to worry about the checks because you guys are going to enter your answers on Canvas and see if they're right anyway. Okay? You can check it. 10 plus 8, well, that equals 18. That's what we wanted. Right? So we know it works. Okay? So we go to the next one. What's the very first thing you're going to do? Draw a line by the equal sign. So we put the line there. Our goal is to get the letter by itself. So I need to get this letter P by itself, so I need to get rid of the minus 8. How do we get rid of a minus 8? Plus 8. So we put plus 8 on each side. Okay, you have to show your work this way. You guys trust me. When you get to 8th grade, you're going to be very happy that you've learned how to do this. And 9th grade and beyond. I know some of you are still shaking your head. No, trust me, you will. So we have P equals 9 plus 8? 17. Here's our answer. Okay? 17 minus 8 is 9. That works.
Does it get any harder?
Not really. Well, not for today.
But how about that?
Okay, so what does this mean? So I'm going to draw a line here. What does this line here mean? Divide. What's the opposite of dividing? Multiply. So multiply each side by -4. Okay, on the side with the variable, they cross off. We don't have to do anything on that side. We just have our B equals, what's 5 times -4? What's 5 times 4? 20. One negative sign means it's negative. So
Wait.
negative.
What were the negative with multiplying and dividing? The same as adding and subtracting?
Remember, adding and subtracting, the sum.
Yep.
Same sign, add and keep, different sign, subtract, keep the sign, bigger numbers, and it'll be exact. For multiplying and dividing, 1 negative, it's negative. 2 negatives, it's positive. Okay? Alright, flip the page. There's just a couple more. Alright, draw a line by the equal sign. What does it mean when the letter and the number are right next to each other? What does that mean? Savannah? Multiplying. So how do I get rid of multiplying by 6? Divide by 6. The opposite of multiplying is divide. Okay, our whole goal is to get the letter by itself. So I can cross off the 6's. I have x equals. If you don't know in your head what 48 divided by 6 is, that's okay. Use a calculator. I don't care. Okay, but what's 48 divided by 6? 8. Zachary, you're wrong. Okay, so x equals 8. All right. How about this one? Draw a line. Now, here's where you have to be careful. Be careful. Draw your line. How do I get rid of, be serious, how do I get rid of the -8?
Plus 8.
Plus 8. Okay, so plus 8 on each side. These cross off. We have m equals.
What's a plus and a minus?
It's a -14 plus 8. So what's -14 plus 8? Friendly. -6. Right?
What?
You have 14 negatives and 8 positives. So same signs add and keep. Different signs, they're different signs we subtract. Does that make sense? Okay. So m equals -6. All right. What do we do with this one? What do I do first?
Line.
The line. Draw the line. Okay? Be serious. Don't mess people up by saying random things. Okay? Yeah, I know it's fun until somebody's so confused that they're like, what are we talking about? Okay? How am I going to solve this? Brooklyn. Okay, this does mean times, so what's the opposite of times? Divide by -9. Cross off the 9's. We have y equals, what's 45 divided by -9? 45 divided by 9 is 5. There's one negative sign, so it's -5. Okay, what do we have? 1 to go. The last one was. Okay, what looks different about this one? It's backwards. Does that matter?
No.
No, not at all. Okay? No matter what, we still draw the line. Draw the line by the equal sign. Our goal is to get the W by itself. You guys remember, always our goal is to get the letter by itself. So I have to get rid of whatever's next to the letter. How do I get rid of a minus 14? Plus 14. Okay, so we have W equals 15 plus 14? 29. Okay, and we're going to skip the last one because it's the same as one we already did. Okay, fair enough? We feel like we got a handle on that. Okay.
You should have answered